Yay.
If anyone does not wish to be recorded, you may wish to turn off your video. That is my helpful hint for you. All right, well, I am going to get started. Welcome, everybody, to the Cosplay Gijinka panel. Hello, I am your host, Mink the Satyr. And I am going to get access, there we go, getting access to my own slides. So first of all, quick, hey, that's me. I'm in the picture. Say, you see me. Wow. So first, I'm going to just quickly introduce myself. My name, as I said before, is Mink the Satyr. I am a cosplayer. I've been cosplaying for 7 or 8 years. It's really hard to tell because time is relative and what even is time. I've been sewing for like 17 to 18 years. I used to tell people I'd been sewing for like 14 to 16 years, and then I realized time kept going, so I had to add numbers as the years have gone on. I am most known for my Pokemon cosplay. I do not cosplay as the trainers from Pokemon, because that, as exciting as that is, I am more inspired by the aminals. So we're going to talk today about what happens when you are inspired by animals from various and sundry intellectual properties, and they don't really have a defined costume, but you still want to cosplay them. So let's start with some definitions. Webster's Dictionary defines Gijinka as, psych, Webster's Dictionary doesn't care about the word Gijinka. Gijinka is basically a roundabout translation, is that it's referring to anthropomorphism. So it's attributing human characteristics to a god, an animal, or an object. Now it's important that I highlight that a god is included in here because Gijinka, I know this is going to surprise you, it's a Japanese word. And in Japan, we have a lot of faiths that have multiple deities that take on animalistic qualities, shall we say. And you know, this is talking about the demons and all of that too. I don't need to give you a history lesson on Japanese mythology. I'm sure that would be a very exciting panel, but it is not one that I am expert in, so I will not be talking about that. I will, however, be talking about Gijinka versus Furry. This costume here, is it furry? I don't know. I don't think of it as furry, but it's pretty close, isn't it? I do have a hierarchy of furry from like the deep level, like you're in deep. That would be down at the bottom of this pyramid. Down at the bottom rung, those are the people upon whose shoulders we stand. That would be the folks in full fursuits or quad suits, where they're on their hands and knees, or oftentimes on some form of like a platform for their hands to get that full I am a creature effect. I think of Gijinka as slightly higher than that. That's where you can have a whole rainbow of different animalistic components to your costume, like a whole spectrum. But I wouldn't necessarily call it cat ears at a rave, because there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with cat ears at a rave. But if I put on cat ears on top of like a normal rave costume, I don't think of that necessarily as Gijinka. I think of that as just a cute, a cute aesthetic. That's, like the wire cat headband. I wouldn't necessarily say it's Gijinka. I mean, really, if anything goes. At this point, we're splitting hairs. But I do want to make sure that we are aware that there is this continuum that we can fall on. I also want to give you a helpful comparison. On the one side, we've got a Pokemon that's like, the reference. We have a human cosplaying as the human form of that Pokemon, but we also have a picture of an animal cosplaying the animal form of that Pokemon. Obviously, this is a question of who wore it better. Rosalina the Hedgehog wore it better. Full opinion. She looks great. I wish I could take credit for Rosalina's costume, but unfortunately that was made by my boyfriend and not by me. So I can't take credit for her sweet, sweet look. All right. So when we talk about designing an anthropomorphic costume, the first thing that has to happen is you've got to be struck with that inspiration. The wouldn't it be cool ifs. So as they say in Super Smash Brothers, choose your character. And I had to put something other than Pokemon in, so here's your Digimon for you. So when you're thinking about choosing your character and creating your concept, you should be asking yourself a series of questions like, do I want this costume to be serious or do I want it to be silly? Like, is this more of a joke or am I going to put like a lot of effort into it? Or, I mean, if it is a joke, am I going to put a lot of effort into a joke? Because let's be honest, sometimes the best jokes have a lot of effort put into it. Do I want to make my own design or do I want to riff off of something that already exists? There are an amazing amount of 2D artists who specialize in creating anthropomorphized versions of our favorite intellectual property creatures, from Pokemon to creatures from like Harry Potter to Digimon to magical girl sidekicks, you name it, someone has drawn it and they're really, really cute designs. The only thing you'll have to keep in mind is you will need to ask that artist for permission ahead of time. Don't just assume, always ask. That's just courtesy. When you're thinking of designing your own character, you should be thinking, what features of the character do I want to highlight? Does the character have giant, like, rabbity ears that I want to make sure are really dominant in the overall design? And of course, what's the one thing that's really going to like tie the look together? That's going to be the showpiece. In the costume that I'm wearing right now, in case you weren't clear, I did write it down. I'm cosplaying as a Jolteon. I'm actually cosplaying as an amalgam. We'll get to that. But one of the things that tied the look together for me is this rad jacket. I will take it off at the end or towards the end because I do want you to see the cool embroidery on the back, but that's future us. We'll be talking about that. And yeah, just so we're clear, the Big Lebowski reference is the tie the room together reference. Anyone? Big Lebowski, just me? Okay, cool. So now that we've sort of thought about the idea, let's talk about the physical design element. So obviously we could start with something really easy. We could just put ears and a tail on it and boom, we are an animal, hooray. And you know what, that works. You don't have to get crazy complicated to make your Gijinka design your own. We could do something a little bit more complex where we take an animal and maybe another existing character and we put them together. So that's what I did with this costume. And in fact, we actually did it with a group. We took the League of Legends KDA thing and we married it with the Pokemon Gen 1 Eevees because there was a one-to-one correspondence where there was 4 League of Legends KDA champions and 4 from the Gen 1 Eeveelutions. So it worked really well and it was really easy to assign a role to everybody. And yes, in case you're wondering, that is not me as Jolteon in the picture. I wound up also doing a KDA Vaporeon, and that is me as Vaporeon in the picture. So I have done 2 out of the 3 of these, thus creating the joke, am I going to do the other 4? And the answer is no, because I don't hate myself. You can also create some really stupid puns. Remember when I said before, is it serious or is it silly? And talking about working hard, I worked real hard to create this stupid pun. I'm going to give you 2 seconds before I reveal the pun. Ready? It's Weepin' Bell. Get it? Weepin' Belle, it's hilarious. Don't worry.
I love it.
Oh, I'm glad. You
No,
didn't
that's
have
why I
to.
started following you originally. I appreciated the pun costumes.
Oh, bless. It's been a little while since I've done a pun cosplay. I think the most recent one I've done, which is a while ago, was EV for Vendetta. I made sure I debuted it on the 5th of November. Good stuff. It's been a little while since I've done a pun cosplay. I will make sure that I do it. I usually like to do it for Dragon Con, which is an every other year adventure for me. Unfortunately, I don't think I will be attending Dragon Con this year because who's going to any con this year? Oh, WebCon, thanks for existing.
You're welcome. We try.
I did talk earlier in the start of the show about replicating 2D art and just kind of creating something, a costume from something that already exists as 2D art. So here I've got a drawing done by the artist Cowslip, very popular Pokemon artist who has done a ton of work making at least all of the Gen 1 Pokemon, but has also tackled many of the other Pokemon. There's like 800 and some odd. I think it's like 890 something Pokemon. So like to do anything more than 151 is like impressive as far as I'm concerned, as far as design. But when I saw Cowslip's design of Diglett here, I was like, well, that's beautiful. I know I'm not going to come up with a more clever design than that. I very much want to cosplay. Now, Cowslip does have an open invitation to cosplay any of their designs, so I was able to do that without having to necessarily get in touch with Cowslip themselves. Just because many artists will have that, like, this is free to cosplay, just be sure to tag that it's, you know, my work when you post it. So anytime I post any images of me in a Diglett design, I am always certain to tag Cowslip as the original design of the cosplay. So it would say like cosplay design by Cowslip. Now the most complex part would be then making your own design. And we're going to be talking a lot about how to make your own design today. And if I haven't already buried you with the concept that we are going to be making a design together, allow me to bury you in that concept. We're going to be making a design together. It's going to happen about midway through this panel. We will be doing our own thing. Now, at that point, when we get to that point, if you want to unmute yourselves to add to what we're doing and add some ideas, I will encourage you to do so. For right now, you can stay muted. It's all good. All right, so when designing your own character, my biggest piece of advice, give that thing a job. That's because you want your character to exist in a world, and that's what the most successful designs have. They have believability. You look at that and you understand where they come from. So here is an image of a cosplay design I did for someone a couple years back where they said, I want Mega Ampharos, but I want like a fantasy sorcerer version. And I was like, excellent. It's a job and a character, and it was very easy for me to pull in exciting elements once I had that base idea. And I felt really proud of it. I was like, yeah, this is a pretty groovy costume. I'd totally wear the heck out of it. I'd have to, you know, get a little goatee to glue on, but you know, that's fine with me. I'd be fine with that. One of the cosplays I did in quarantine was inspired by Cubone, but rather than giving Cubone that tribal persona that seems like it would be a very natural one, I worked with doing a porcelain doll version because I was so enamored with the backstory of Cubone. For those uninitiated, don't worry, I'll tell you. Cubone is a Pokemon who wears the skull of its dead mom and is just like really sad because its mother has died, and to honor her memory, it wears her skull, and like no one's ever seen a Cubone's face without the skull, because I guess that's what makes a Cubone. Let's not get into the nitty-gritty about how Cubones exist then. If every single Cubone's mom dies, like it seems collar tug. But because of that like kind of tragic child backstory, I was inspired to do something that was more childlike. So I was like, oh, obviously I'm going to do some porcelain doll, baby doll version, and that'll be really fun. Or my toothless costume, which was from How to Train Your Dragon. For that one, my job was I want to be a Viking shield warrior. And that made it very easy for me to design elements. Yes, could you do toothless as a magical girl? 100%. Or could you do toothless as a samurai? 100%. A mech warrior? Go for it. But like that's the magic of doing your own Gijinka designs, is that all you have to do is change the job, and you could have the same character with so many various silhouettes and various different unique takes that it really is, the sky's the limit. Speaking of magical girls, there's my magical girl Alolan Vulpix, very much inspired by Madoka Magica, but yeah, who doesn't love a magical girl, am I right? So when you are making your costume design, a lot of times us cosplayers and designers are really good at coming up with ideas, but maybe one of the limitations is not being able to draw so good, or not being able to draw people so good. So may I introduce to you Bodycoon. I actually have my Bodycoon with me right here. Hello! This is a posable figure. I believe Bodycoon is a Bandai figure. These are wonderful if you want to get into drawing. They come with an array of hands and props, and they're great for posing characters and getting a good sense of how you want to draw somebody doing an action pose. And if you don't feel like spending the $30 to buy one, you can go look up on Google Bodycoon or Body-chan, because Bodycoon refers to the male model and Body-chan refers to the female model. You can look up Bodycoon or Body-chan poses, and you'll even find Reddit subreddits where it's just people taking pictures and sharing it. And then all you have to do is use that picture, and you can literally trace over it to get a nice, good anime proportion and come up with some really cool like pictures. If you do have your own Bodycoon or Body-chan, you can just take a picture with your phone of whatever pose you want. It's pretty liberating in that way, because instead of spending my time worrying about, does the pose look natural or does this look the right proportions, I can spend my time worrying exclusively about the design. And that is liberating in and of itself. So I'm not being paid to tell you about Body-chan or Bodycoon. I'd love to be paid to tell you about Body-chan and Bodycoon, but I don't have anybody sponsoring me at the moment. At the moment, there's a little tagline for you. That being said, it was very revolutionary for my design process to have that. It just takes a lot of mental weight off of me. So here, speaking of mental weight taken off of me, we are going to have that audience interactive moment that I promised we were gonna have. It's about the middle of the panel anyway, so we're doing okay on time. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to start by having a random audience member go ahead and type a number between 1 and 800 in the chat now. And you know what? If you're many people, go for it. I will have a bunch of options. It'll be fine. Thank you people for already typing. I like how our first one is the mark of the devil. You're the best. If you haven't guessed already, I will be taking that number and putting it into a Pokedex, and we are going to design based on that, whatever that number is. Which means that I'm going to stop this screen share for just a hot tick and share a different screen. Oh my God, we have technology. Boom, I already have a body chan pose up and running because I am prepared. So the first number I saw was Pokemon number 666, the mark of the devil. And I just put it in Bulbapedia. What is Pokemon number 666? And slight drum roll, please, if you don't have Google and can't look it up. That's right, it's Pavilion.
I knew it's super kawaii. I knew it.
Yeah, it is a super kawaii Pokemon. I'm very excited for us to be designing this little friend together. All right, so if we're going to design this together, as I said, oh, look, some of my blanket just fell. I was wondering, what's happening in the background now? My screen fell. That's cool. Whatevs. If you want to weigh in on the designs, you can unmute yourself. The first thing that we need to do is we need to decide what job we are going to give to Pavilion. I'm seeing a very feminine Pokemon. One suggestion was Rave, and you know what? Thank you, Galaxy. I do love Rave. I do love Schoolgirl, but Ariel, we did take your suggestion for the Pokemon, so I'm going to go to Galaxy for Rave. We'll do Raver Pavilion. Sure, why not? Right? That's what all this is about. And again, feel free to unmute yourself as you please. I just need to make this a little bit smaller so I can see what I am doing.
All I'm saying is, you summoned Satan when it came up and your curtain fell. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm just lowering the opacity of my body chan just because I want to be able to draw over it without it being too obtrusive. So the idea is I'm using her as a guideline for my art here. So we're going to do a Raver. Now, Ravers tend to have like lots and lots of fur and stuff, which is going to go really well with this bug type. I did a Raver Venomoth a year or so ago, so I am very familiar with the abstract concept of doing a Raver bug type. And I'm just going to put in some eyes. I like to just map out the face first, just because otherwise it's really creepy for me. But if you want to start however you want to start, it's up to you. Honestly, it's up to you. I just want to make sure everyone can see the art so far. Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, excellent, excellent. All right, so one thing I'm seeing in Pavilion is that there's this like top half that of the face that is this dark gray, and then the bottom half is this like light gray. So I'm thinking, since we're in the time that we're in, we'll do like a cool mask. That seems very topical, right? So we'll do a mask, and we might even put like the bug type symbol. Now here's where symbols are a big help. This is why I love using Pokemon. So I'm just quickly looking up what the bug symbol is in Pokemon. Bug Pokemon symbol. There are a bunch of different symbols that we can use, from like Z crystal symbols to like actual just straight up symbols. And I found a couple that I like, so I'm gonna steal that symbol and put it right on the face. It looks a little something like this. It kind of looks like a ladybug. And I don't have to be like perfect or precise with it because I'll know this is just like a note to self, you know, to put the bug symbol. And I think that symbol proportionally is too big. So I'm gonna go back and I'll change it. Give us a finer point pen here. Do a little bug symbol right here, like a happy tree. There we go. So we got the bug symbol on our mask, and we've got a mask. I think technically the mask should look a little something more like that, but whatever. It's anime. We can fudge the lines a little bit, right? Right. All right, so we have the base idea of a mask. Now, again, I mentioned that Pavilion does have this like gray side. I'm also looking at Pavilion's triangular eyes, so I'm thinking maybe we do triangular bangs. And if we want to get really cool, I see Pavilion has the way the eyes work has this light shine that's very blocky. So I think we should do that block as a hair clip. That'll look cute, right? Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. And we'll give her maybe like Raven from Teen Titans hair.
Can we do pigtails?
Ooh, yeah, we could do pigtails.
Yay.
So still give her Raven from Teen Titans hair.
Yeah, with pigtails.
But we'll just put some pigtails in. We'll do some short pigtails. I think that'll be, then we can evoke the idea of those
oh, yeah.
So we'll do these short, like, Japanese schoolgirl spike pigtails.
Yeah, that's cute. That's cute.
This will be hella raver. And then just because we can, we'll maybe even put, like, these hair bands. And the hair bands I envision would be that, like, tan color that we see in the Pavilion picture. Which I had to duck to the side so I can scroll. All right, so now that I've got like the idea of a head, I like to work head to toe. If you like to work full body silhouette, great. I'm really happy for you. I'm just showing you how I work. Now for her silhouette, she is a raver, but I want to have parts that are puffy and parts that are not puffy. So I'm thinking like puffy for the top half, but maybe like a crop top. And maybe something sleeveless. So something puffy like that. I'm not sure how I feel about the neckline yet. I'm just trying to get the ideas down. And of course, by all means, if you've got some ideas brewing, shout out, make it happen. I see that Pavilion in our picture is kind of already wearing a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So that might go into what color.
Crop top.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I love using Pokemon, because Pokemon have so many tiny details that you can really play with. And playing with those details really does make for a more explosive and dynamic costume. You're just like, oh, that's rad. I totally see what you're going for here. Because I made my shirt open, I'm going to make her shirt. I'm going to do it in two ways. First, I'm going to do that, stop me if you've heard this, the Hinata from Naruto long shirt. I think proportionally that'll look cool, but maybe under that we'll have a crop top shirt. And I like that we've got this white and blue wing pattern, so I think it'd be fun to do like a white and blue shirt. Like maybe that's just like the pattern that's on the shirt. I don't know. We can play around with our own shirt and make it cool.
You know, like the little feetsies, how they look like the I don't even know what we call it, cone, like a stretched out oval. You can use that to make like a belt or something.
Ooh, yeah, we absolutely could. I was thinking originally of using that for designing pants, but I also like
Oh.
using that for a belt too. So I think we should do both. And I liked you said belt, and I think they would make a really cool bandolier.
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, that's what I was thinking in my head. Girl, you got me.
I got you. I got you. And then we've got the lovely little bandolier situation here. This is actually looking really cute, and I would like 10 out of 10. I would cosplay this so far. I'm just saying.
Do it for next WebCon.
Yeah, for real. All right, so I'm rapidly approaching pants o'clock. So as I mentioned, I was thinking some nice tight leggings, very, very raver now. And with those leggings, we could do this upper thigh, but in my world, instead of it being black, I think that part could be sheer. That would be really fun. That would be a fun textural thing. So we could have like a little insert of sheer, and then so I'm a little bit messing with the colors. That's just kind of like my play right now, but obviously if other folks have more ideas, but by all means share them. I would love to hear your ideas too, because this isn't just me playing here, it's us playing. Especially when it comes to the accessories. The accessories are really where it's at for a raver.
What if you put like wings on her forearms instead of her back?
Oh, interesting.
And like, yeah, I was just thinking about that because everybody's always having like trouble trying to get in the doors and everything. But I feel like wings, like the butterfly wings, could be because you have, your forearms, you have your upper arms. You could literally
Yeah.
like have the wings just completely on if she's a raver, so it's kind of like, and it makes it easier to move. I feel like I've seen people.
That's true.
I've
That's
worked
true.
in wings myself.
Wings a couple of ways. I was thinking of giving her a backpack, of doing like a little chibi wing backpack thing.
Oh yeah, that works too, and it's
But I
smaller.
want to
So
I
it
want
makes
to
it
play with
easier.
your wings on the arms too, because when it
Yeah.
comes to cosplay, I don't want to say more is more, but kind of more is more. So I'm going to give her
Yeah.
one of those cute little backpack. Not the least of which because Ariel said schoolgirl, and I was a little stuck on that idea too. We've got backpack, but so are you thinking like a low hanging wing, or are you thinking something with a little more structure?
Well, like it can attach to her forearms, like lower somehow, or like
Like, would you want it to be droopy, or would you want it to have structure and support?
it could have like structure and support, so that way when
Okay.
you're opening doors to go in places, But I mean, as far as her upper arms too, now that you have that backpack idea, I was thinking, you could. I mean, her arms might look upside down. I don't know. Like I saw it and I was like, but the backpack makes sense too. But you can even do like double wings because some butterflies
Exactly.
actually
Right
have.
now, the backpack is
Yeah,
only accounting for this upper wing.
yeah.
It's not accounting for the lower wing. So we
So
can
you
do
could
stuff
spread
about
out.
the wing.
Yeah, like make it into fours almost.
Exactly. Exactly.
I always have so
Now
cardboard,
you're
so
at
much
it.
cardboard too. I really need to try this, so I'm just gonna be playing with all the cardboard boxes in my house.
Now the hardest part is just
Awesome.
kind of figuring how does it all attach, like how does it all put together. So we could do something on the lower arm, but I think I got to think about how I want to do justice to the idea, because I really like the concept of doing something on her arm. Of course, you could always do something.
Sorry for interrupting, but what one's this?
I'm
So
sorry.
sorry. So sorry.
The other one I was in finished earlier.
Yes, sorry about that. So the tabletop room was having some issues. So that room is
Yeah,
closed now. This one is
yeah, he
Gijinka
did say
designing with
that
Mink.
he was having issues. He did say that he's going to close it.
Yes, so this is a Gijinka cosplay, so you're welcome to stay. Or if you want to attend other panels on Discord, you're feel free to do that as well. But sorry that the room got closed early.
Yeah, it's because it was having problems.
Yes, yes. But we're going to continue back with this presentation.
Okay, sorry. I'll mute myself.
Yep, no worries.
All good, all good. All right, so I was thinking a little bit about it, and I wonder if we could do some like fin thing over here and just kind of strap it. Like we'll just use some straps, and we can use that as an excuse to bring some of that Naruto style right back up in there. I did see the comment about the stick wings that you can pull up, and I think the stick wings would be really great for like a big presentation. But if we're doing a raver, we do have to keep things a little bit on the smaller side, just because, again, she's got to be able to move. And to the people who've made the point, like, oh yeah, we want her to be able to move, like, I am so here for you, thinking about that person needing to exist in real life and what that would entail. All right, so now we're gonna bring it down to her feet. Move down to her feet. Where we've got to get her some sweet boots. Now I've got some ideas about bringing back in some of those wings, because I've seen tons of like doll kill boots. Fun fact about Doll's Kill, I believe it was formerly Delia's. So if you've been shopping on Doll's Kill, congratulations, you never stopped shopping at Delia's. I'll be the first one to say I've been shopping at Delia's and then also purchased some stuff at Doll's Kills. Not so much anymore, but I have, in fact, in the past done that thing. Now, if I were to make this cosplay in real life, what I would probably do is I would get a boot and reskin it and then add these wings with like Worbla, or if I was feeling really fancy, I would do like a Worbla's transparent Worbla and try to dye that just so I can get that translucent quality. But I want to get some like combat-y boots. I don't know, I picture that we could probably even use just black combat boots, because I think that would go pretty fetching with the overarching design here. So when I zoom out, I'm gonna complete that look here, making sure I have the sketches. When I zoom out, we do have a general aesthetic, and it looks pretty nice. I think once we add color, we'll be able to like really feel it. Amanda adds that they've seen the wings that you can just tie on with laces. And yeah, I imagine that if you wound up doing like the pavilion wings and then backed them with like a heavy broadcloth and then put in like little eyelets, you could probably just lace in the wings, and you can make your own, and you can lace them into a pair of combat boots, no problem. One of the things that I'm constantly thinking about when I design Gijinka is, could I actually make this? And like, if I did need to make it, how would I go about making it? And that's where you can scratch itches you didn't know you had, because when you are when you're making a costume, you know what you like, actually I can just color sample from, you know what you like, you know what is out there. So if like there's a certain wig that's out there and you're like, oh, I want that wig, well, boom, you can get that wig, and then you can draw that wig with your outfit. I can't tell you how many times that's been the case, where I've totally just like made a design entirely around the abstract concept of, is this something I can purchase from Amazon? It is uncomfortable how often that's been the case. So as you can see, I'm just quickly adding some color to just give us an idea of what the whole form will look like. This step isn't necessary, but it is going to make us feel really cool when we finish, because then we'll have a finished piece. And if people have ideas to improve or add on to the design as I'm adding color, please shout them out, because this isn't just my design. This is a design by committee. This is a design that we've done. One thing I will say is I want to make sure we give everybody permission to cosplay this. So if you could just like either use a reaction or in the chat just say I give permission, like give a thumbs up as a reaction, or just in the chat say I give permission to cosplay. That way anyone who wants to cosplay this will know that you've given permission and that it is okay to cosplay Raver Pavilion. We give you consent. I give you consent to cosplay Raver Pavilion. I think Raver Pavilion looks super cute. Oh, and I really like the little pigtails. I wasn't sure how they would come out, but I think that looks really cute. Now, just to balance things, the bug icon is in green usually, so I'm going to use a green, but I'm going to use more like a muted green for the bug icon on her face, just because I can. Oh, I'm really excited about this. I think making the backpack is probably going to be the area of most challenge, because making a backpack could be difficult. But I bet if I found a base backpack, we could probably just slap wings onto an already existing backpack. So I would think like a pink backpack would probably be optimal. Not required, but certainly optimal.
I think if you did that too, like if you got like a plain backpack, if you put the bug symbol on the back there, or if you found somewhere that you could put like her number on.
Oh my God, brilliant. Okay, I think this cause is called for adding a tattoo, because she's got some bare shoulders, and you're right, she has an exciting number. She's number 666, so we should put that somewhere. Right now I'm just gonna put it like on her arm, like on the upper arm. You know what, I'm gonna move that up. I'm gonna move that up to like her shoulder. I'm gonna make that little mark. That is so clever.
And I like how like she has the wings on the backpack and on the forearms, but like if you look at like her wing pattern, like she's got like, you know, like those top ones that got the square, she's got the bottom ones that are very like the in between wings that are like colorful, and then she's got like bottom ones. I know she's wearing like leggings, but she had like maybe like a small skirt, and like you could do the color pattern of the bottom wings on that, so you get some like pink whatnot.
Oh, absolutely. We could
Or like even the top of the
integrate
like,
some of that color in a skirt. Let's see about let's see what that'll look like. I'm just going to put down some of that color just so that we can see, and then we'll go to the black and white and see if we can do like a mini skirt, because right now she just has this like abrupt thing. So when I'm thinking like mini skirt.
mm-hmm.
Like she's a raver, so she can do like tight mini skirt. That's where it's at, right? And you're right, this is a great opportunity to add some of those colors, so we can pick up some of the colors from the inside of her wing and get like that cool crisp blue that's happening in there, so we can get like a neat print happening with her skirt, because that is something that we haven't done too much with. And that'll offset the color balance just a little bit, just enough to make it interesting. Because there's going to be a lot of pink, but also a lot of black in this. And you're right, it does need a little bit more balance. And that's why we do the coloring. That's the purpose of it, is so that we can get a view of it all together. I'm going to experiment with making her coat pink, just because I'm curious. My inclination would have been to make it black, or to make it white, like the t-shirt kind of thing that Pavilions got going on, but I also was thinking that would be a lot of white on top, and I do want to make sure, since the majority of Pavilion is pink, that I honor that pinkish quality. Pinkish quality, that sounds like a technical term. And so that pink comes back a little bit in the skirt. I'm going to put that pink right back in there, or so help me. But this is why we do the color, is to make sure that everything balances harmoniously. Because if it doesn't, then what is the point? Honestly, what is the point? I also envision that the shoe is pink. Again, just to color balance, because we're going to have a black or a mostly black legging. And that would be really boring otherwise, to have like black, 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 black. Although, you know what? Now that I look at it, I think I do want that combat boot to be black, because I think it is going to make the wing pop a little bit more. Yeah, you can already tell. This is why we do the color, is so that you can see value of the wings more. You appreciate the wings more than when they were a pink boot. Also, getting a pink boot is going to be a pain in the butt. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm just saying it's challenging. I'm pretty sure the upper part of Pavilion, oh, it was, actually, it wasn't black. It was, oops, I want that back. Let's see. Give it back. History. There we go. I was on the wrong file. You know what? I am going to make that black, because I did say I was going to do a nude illusion in here. Or like
Ooh, Amanda has a suggestion of metallic and shiny fabric.
Shiny fabrics, definitely. Like a nice, like almost like a pleathery or a spandex fabric would be very pretty. That's the other thing, is that like once you decide on your color palette, you get to decide on what kinds of fabrics you use. So like holographic material probably would go really well. Shiny materials, vinyls would go really well. Vinyls are a bit of a bear to work with, but if you are comfortable working with it, by all means you should. Here's me indicating that this part is like that sheer part. So it just kind of like gives this dark skinned effect, which I think will be really cool and really pretty. I need to make sure we make the blue parts of this skirt happen, and then the dark pink parts again, because this skirt has to be a thing. I'm not doing the best coloring job, and I apologize if my coloring is kind of shoddy, but I want to make sure that we have a finished product, because this is our baby that we're playing with right here. Gonna get that bandolier down. Thank God for color sampling, because color sampling is a little bit saving my bacon right now, so I don't have to sit here and map out colors on my own and try to color match from a picture. Get the bandolier done. I really love the idea of the bandolier, guys. That was a very smart suggestion. I am wondering if we should give her a little bit of like a demi glove. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So maybe like one of these gloves. I actually have them for my Jolteon costume, and they're very cute. They add a little bit of a punk edge, but I think she could probably use that, especially because she's got this like almost like a Japanese street culture thing going on. And I am here for the magic. So as we start to wrap up this design, I'm going to just make sure that we give her that Naruto Hinata mesh fabric, the loose knit mesh. I think one could probably even pirate off of an existing like Hinata costume to just get the shirt, so you don't have to make it from scratch. I can't imagine making it from scratch would be very difficult, because it's just a loose knit something something. but I think this would be so cool to have this like fishnet shirt to go with her. All right, so there we go. We've got Pavilion. Look at that, guys. Look how bangerang that looks. Excellent choice on the skirt. That was a really good suggestion, and I'm really glad you made it, because I think that does make the design pop a little bit more, and I think it makes the shirt, the top crop top, make a little bit more sense. So, guys, look at what you did. Look at what you've done. You did an amazing job. We have a few more minutes, so I'm going to spend that time giving us some tips for making Gijinka, but I will just freeze on this for like 2 more seconds. So in case you have a screen capture or screen grab that you want to do, this would be the time to screen grab it. Remember, I give you permission to cosplay this design, and hopefully everyone else is giving permission to cosplay this design, because this is a group thing. This ain't just mine. All right, so let's do that. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. All right. We are going to go back to our PowerPoint for just a second. So hang in there with me while I switch between screen shares. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but I do have to flip to a slide. There we go. I do have to flip my screens. That's just how Zoom works. So we've already done our audience interactive moment. Let's get some tips and tricks. All right. So here's a quick little tip for making cosplay ears. Use craft foam. 2mm craft foam will get you where you're going. It will add some thickness to your fake fur, and it will make it a lot easier to play with. Now, I am a big old fan of using hot glue with fake fur, because hot glue and fake fur, especially long pile fake fur, hides a lot of sins. So I'm not gonna lie, I would be very, very lost if I didn't have that hot glue. Usually what I do is I make, you can see in black would be the cutout in foam. I make a nice little mountain for cat ears. One side of the mountain has a steeper slope than the other. And when I cut my fake fur, I cut it with a box cutter on the reverse side of the fake fur to start with, because that will make sure that you're cutting the matrix that the fur is like implanted in, and not cutting the fur itself, because you want to keep the length of the fur intact. Fur has nice long pile, and you'd like to keep that pile intact. You don't want to have these like harsh cuts. When I do get my fur cut out, I give it a seam allowance, not because I need to have a seam allowance. When I make ears, I rarely do a lot of sewing. I do have that seam allowance because I want to fold it over the craft foam, and that will give me this nice like invisible edge to my ear, and I'm a big fan of that invisible edge. You can also use Worbla to make your ears. Actually, these ears have a base of Worbla. I do have, so the inside of my ears, I hot glued on some fleece, some black fleece, just so I could have the nice softness on the inside. But I heated up 1 layer of Worbla so that I could have that wrapped shape that I wanted, because Worbla is just really easy to mold once you've heated it up. And then I went over it with my faux fur, and just again, I glued it over to make that kind of vanishing edge, so you don't see the hard edge of the fake fur. Actually, I'm going to go back for just a second to talk about animal ears. One thing that is very helpful is using hairspray. I know that's going to sound really wacky, but like if you're if you've got a lot of fake fur, like I've shown on my my little wolf ear, cat ear thing, and you want that fur to be very specific in a direction, like these have a nice body, and it's not just like poof, it kind of shapes like a Jolteon's ears. I used hairspray because hairspray is intended to shape fibers that are nice and long and thin, so it stays in a very prescribed way. Why wouldn't you use it for your fake fur? You can get your fur to lay exactly the way you want it to. So I use Got to Be Glued spray, not the gel. The gel is fine. Got to Be Glued is a brand of hairspray that I use, that is typically used for mohawks. It's a freeze spray. I use it in tandem with the hair dryer to just dry it really fast, but it's some good stuff. It's going to get you where you need to go. With tails and even with ears too, you can use some wire and stuffing in tandem to give it some cool shapes. So if you've got a tail, like for example, this first pattern here, which just kind of looks like a finger, and you make two of them and you leave the bottom open, whatever, you stuff it, and now you've got this limp tail. That's fine and all, but if you add some wire, even adding like a U of wire and bending it will give it some good life, and you like breathing life into your Gijinka. You can also make tails using upholstery foam. They tend to be very lightweight but also very rigid, like their shape is very prescribed. I use a turkey carver to carve my my upholstery foam. It's, for my dollar, it's the best thing that you could use. So we only have a couple minutes. I know our moderator did say that we can go a little bit over time. And so I want to take this as an opportunity to open the floor for questions. So if you don't mind unmuting yourself when you want to ask something, that would be gorgeous. And if you don't want to ask a question orally, you can also put it in the comments, and that will work too. While you're asking those questions, I'll just have my contact information up and available to you guys. So while I'm waiting for questions, I'm going to do a little head bob, like, I'll just keep doing this until someone asks something.
I just want to say that I really loved your panel and I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, thank you.
I love that it was interactive.
I enjoy doing interactive stuff in my panels at conventions. I like to use my webcam during the panels, so I appreciate that. Usually I use my webcam and I like focus in on the stuff that I'm demonstrating, which if you guys want to see me demonstrate something, tomorrow morning at 10:30, I'm going to be doing a leatherworking panel. So be ready for a little bit of shaky cam as I zoom in with my webcam onto the leather crafting that we'll be doing live demos of. And by we, I mean me. I don't know why I say we. Royal we.
Does anyone have any questions?
Can we get a look at the back of your jacket?
Oh, yeah, good call. Also, the question, is there an image of the rave cosplay design? I had to do something and I missed it. I am going to put that image up on the Discord on my Mink the Satyr hashtag channel so that you can reference it whenever you need to. I got you back. Yes, I did forget that this is the back of the jacket. Can we just have a moment?
It's so cute!
So on Akali's jacket from KDA, she has a dragon. So I basically redrew the dragon situation as a Jolteon. And then I got the fabric printed in leather. And then I top stitched the leather onto this sweet, sweet jacket. This jacket is literally one that I would wear out to the grocery store. I adore this stupid jacket, and I would bring it with me to a rave. Yes, I did do this jacket myself. If anyone is interested in how to do quilting, I do have tutorials of how to quilt a jacket like this up on my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Twitter all have the same, like, here's 10 pictures to show you how to do your own quilting of a jacket like this, and it's really stupid easy. I was actually alarmed at how easy it was because it looked like it was challenging, but then it wasn't, and I felt like it was like a bait and switch. Like, what do you mean it wasn't that challenging? What do you mean it was really easy? And I'm looking over, I still have more fabric of this like shiny gold, and I'm like, do I want to make another? Because I kind of do. Are there other questions that I can answer? And as we start to run low on time, if I don't get to your question, I do want to let everyone know that I have a live Q&A, audience-led Q&A session at 2:45 on Sunday. So if I don't get to your question, you can just come to that with every question that you have, because it's literally just an open channel to ask questions, and I will answer them to the best of my ability, whether it's cosplay advice to what's your favorite hedgehog. Yes, and our moderator, Crystal Hart, has also asked or mentioned that you can leave questions on my channel on Discord, and I will answer them as well on the Discord. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap up just because I know that at 3 o'clock there is a panel as led by Makeup Mermaid that is also on cosplay and design. And I wanna make sure that those of you who are interested in going to it have the opportunity to go to that and check it out, because she is another brilliant cosplayer, and I'm sure that everything that she's gonna say will make your day all the more groovy. So thank you guys so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it. I love you so much. Hi, Moonlight Bailey. I just saw you in the comments. I'm gonna give you a little heart. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing some of you at tonight's photography panel at 7 o'clock. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Min. Okay.